Hello, I'm Caroline. Welcome to my channel. Today in this video I am going to read a portion of this book, the ultimate book of dinosaurs, and I hope you enjoy. The first dinosaurs. The age of dinosaurs begins. The first dinosaurs appeared about 228 million years ago. Their ancestors were reptiles that belonged to the diapsid group of animals. For 185 million years, dinosaurs were the dominant or ruling animals on Earth. But it's important to remember that in all this time, dinosaurs were not alone on the planet, since there were many other animals with backbones that lived alongside them. Some of these other prehistoric creatures lived on land too, but others were able to fly and swim. The whole incredible range of these ancient animals formed a worldwide ecosystem in which every creature had its place and in which dinosaurs were the leading animals on land. How dinosaurs evolved. In order to know where dinosaurs came from, we have to look closely at their diapsid ancestors. Among the diapsids were a number of animals that scientists have called archosaurs, which means ruling reptiles. These animals were beginning to dominate life on the land. The dinosaur family tree begins with the earliest of the archosaurs, a group of large crocodile-like animals with sprawling legs, known as thecodonts, which means socket-toothed. They were big, heavy reptiles that crawled on all four legs. Thecodonts were meat-eating animals with long jaws and long tails. Erythrosuchus was an archosaur, an ancestor of the dinosaurs. This meat-eater measured up to 5 meters or 16 feet long. Erythrosuchus. Not all reptiles changed from the sprawling gait to the semi-erect and erect gaits. Some, like the crocodiles, are still sprawlers today. Eoraptor. Eoraptor walked on 2 legs and may have been a fast runner. It had light, hollow bones, a long head with many small sharp teeth, and 5 fingers on its hands. The oldest known dinosaurs. The first dinosaurs were small, lightweight animals. They walked on 2 legs, ate meat and plants, and were probably very agile and fast movers. The earliest known dinosaur, the Eoraptor lunensis, it lived 228 million years ago. Eoraptor was a small, primitive meat-eater about 1 meter, 3 feet long. It was discovered in what is now Argentina, South America, in 1991. It was named Eoraptor, meaning dawn raptor. In 1993, its name tells us that scientists believed it lived at the very beginning of the age of the dinosaurs. From crawling to walking. With the emergence of thecodonts, a major stage stage in the evolution of dinosaurs was complete, but there was still a long way to go before the first true dinosaurs appeared. Early thecodonts walked like modern crocodiles do, with their knees and elbows at right angles to their bodies. They held their bodies close to the ground. Over millions of years, thecodonts evolved and the positions of their limbs changed. Later thecodonts walked in a more upright position and they were able to run, but they still moved on all fours. Smaller, lightly built thecodonts were the first animals to run for short distances on their back legs. For some animals, walking on two legs became the normal means of movement. True dinosaurs came from these creatures. How dinosaurs are classified. The two dinosaur orders. In 1887, British geologist Harry Seeley came up with a way of dividing dinosaurs into two basic groups, or orders. Over many years, he had made a careful study of dinosaur skeletons in museum collections, noting their similarities and differences. He noticed that dinosaur hip bones were either shaped like those of lizards or birds. This important observation led him to propose a new idea that dinosaurs should be divided into the order Saurischia, lizard-hipped dinosaurs, and the order Ornithischia, bird-hipped dinosaurs. Theropods. The name means beast foot. Description: dinosaurs which walked on three-toed bird-like feet with sharp claws. They had powerful legs, small arms, a short compact chest, a long muscular tail, a curved and flexible neck, large eyes and long jaws with dagger-like teeth. Examples: Allosaurus, Baryonyx, Deinonychus, Oviraptor and Tyrannosaurus. Diet: they were carnivores, meat-eating dinosaurs. Sauropods. The name means lizard foot. Description: large to massive-sized dinosaurs which walked on all 4 feet. They had small heads, long necks, bulky bodies and long tails. Examples: Apatosaurus, Brachiosaurus, Diplodocus and Seismosaurus. Diet: they were herbivores, plant-eating dinosaurs. Dinosaurs. All dinosaurs were descended from reptiles called thecodonts, which first appeared on Earth during the Triassic period. Saurischia, the lizard-hipped dinosaur. Dinosaurs whose hip bones were shaped like those of lizards fall into 2 types: the agile, meat-eating theropods and the slower-moving, plant-eating sauropods. In the skeletons of Saurischhians, the pubis bone of the hip points downwards and to the front. Ornithischia, the bird-hipped dinosaurs. Dinosaurs whose hip bones were shaped like those of living birds were far more varied than the lizard-hipped dinosaurs. These dinosaurs are divided into 5 types: ankylosaurs, ceratopsians, ornithopods, pachycephalosaurs, and stegosaurs. In ornithischians, the pubis bone points downwards and towards the tail. The pelvis is wider than that of saurischians. This may have made ornithischians more stable while moving. Ankylosaurs. The name means fused together reptiles. Description: small to medium-sized dinosaurs. They had low, squat bodies with massive limbs. Their bodies were covered in flexible, bony armour of slabs, plates and spikes, and they had small teeth and weak jaws. Examples: Ankylosaurus and Euoplocephalus. Diet: they were herbivores, plant eaters. Ceratopsians. Name means horned faces. Description: small to large dinosaurs that moved about on 2 or 4 legs. Some had horned and frilled heads, and some had narrow parrot-like beaks. They probably lived in large herds. Examples: Psittacosaurus and Triceratops. Diet: they were herbivores, plant eaters. Ornithopods. The name means bird feet. Description: small to very large dinosaurs that walked and ran on their 2 back feet. Some lived in large herds, some had crests on their heads. Examples: Lesothosaurus, Iguanodon, and Parasaurolophus. Diet: they were herbivores, plant eaters. Pachycephalosaurs. The name means boneheads. Description: small to medium-sized dinosaurs. They were slow-moving, had thick skulls, and moved about on 2 back legs. They lived in herds. Examples: Pachycephalosaurus and Stegosaurus. Diet: they were herbivores, plant eaters. Stegosaurs. Name means roofed reptiles. Description: medium-sized dinosaurs. They moved about on all 4s and were slow-moving. Their skin were covered in bony plates or spikes, and they had short, weak teeth. Examples: Kentrosaurus and Stegosaurus. Diet: they were herbivores, plant eaters. Dinosaur lifestyles. Meat-eating dinosaurs. Snappers and chompers. Most animals today are meat or plant eaters. Just as lions and leopards hunt grazing wildebeest and gazelle, dinosaurs such as Tyrannosaurus and Allosaurus hunted Triceratops or Iguanodon. Hunters need special skills and features to survive. After all, if they do not catch their food, they do not eat. Meat eaters today usually have big teeth, savage claws, sharp eyes, and fast legs. Most meat-eating dinosaurs had all these features and more, but not all of them were big-jawed monsters on the lookout for an equally vast walking supper. Some were tiny, vicious pack hunters, barely bigger than a chicken, and some just ate insects, lizards, and eggs. A herd of Coelophysis chasing prey, living in a group, gave the smallish dinosaurs some protection from larger predators. An early meat eater, speed was important to many meat-eating dinosaurs. Coelophysis, one of the earliest dinosaurs, is a good example of this. It stalked on the dry desert-like lands of what is now New Mexico, USA, during the late Triassic period. Its upright posture, hollow bones, light build and powerful legs made it a very fast runner. Although Coelophysis was not a large dinosaur, its long neck gave it a good view of approaching prey and predators. It hunted small reptiles and even ate other young Coelophysis when there was no other food around. Like many meat-eaters, Coelophysis hunted in packs. This allowed it to kill prey far bigger than itself. Tyrannosaurus rex. Watch your step. Tyrannosaurus rex was so heavy and tall it would probably have smashed its skull if it tipped over whilst chasing prey. Its tiny arms were too small to protect it from a fall. Sharp teeth and talons. Many dinosaurs relied on special features such as teeth or claws. Compsognathus may have been the smallest meat-eating dinosaur. It roamed the sprawling forests of Germany and France during the late Jurassic period. Including its tail, it was about 0.7 meters or 2 feet long and weighed little more than a chicken. But despite its size, Compsognathus was a deadly predator. It hunted other small animals such as lizards and insects, which it caught with its small, sharp teeth and grasping talons. With its light build and long legs, it shared many of the same features as the earlier Coelophysis. A powerful giant. Tyrannosaurus rex was one of the largest meat-eaters that ever lived. It lurked in the forests of North America and Asia, waiting to ambush the hefty plant-eaters that shared its habitat. At 7 tons, it weighed more than an African elephant. Its size made it safe from any other dinosaur on the planet. Although Tyrannosaurs did occasionally fight each other, but its size and build made it a lumbering, clumsy beast. It would certainly have been a lot less agile than other meat-eaters. However, Tyrannosaurus had a secret weapon. What it lacked in speed, it more than made up for with its powerful jaw. Its mouth was packed with 60 serrated edge teeth, which could snap off 230 kilograms or 500 pounds of meat in one bite. Its sight and sense of smell were especially good too. Because it was not a fast runner, it probably lay in wait for its prey, darting out of the forest to kill unsuspecting plant eaters with a single massive bite. When Tyrannosaurus bit into flesh, it probably pulled back each side of its jaw, in turn to slice through the meat with its sharp teeth. Like Tyrannosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus was a fierce meat eater with massive jaws and very sharp teeth. Deadly weapons. The Velociraptor was one of the most fearsome predators of the Cretaceous period, able to run at 60 kilometers per hour or 40 miles per hour in short bursts. It terrified slow-moving plant eaters on the baking plains of what is now Mongolia and China. Armed with slashing talons on all four limbs and around 30 very sharp curved teeth, Velociraptor also had a single retractable long claw on the middle toe of each foot. It used the claw like a dagger to stab its prey. Although it was relatively small, it hunted in a pack, so it could attack animals much bigger than itself. One extraordinary fossil find, unearthed in Mongolia in 1971, gives us a clue to the last violent moments of a velociraptor's life. It shows the predator in a duel to the death with a lumbering Protoceratops. The velociraptor is grasping the Protoceratops' head shield while slashing at its belly. The Protoceratops has pierced the chest of the velociraptor with its horny beak-like mouth. Both animals died in the battle and crashed to the ground, to be preserved forever in their final death throes. Spinosaurus probably used its claws and crocodile-like jaws to snap up fishes from lakes and rivers. Ornithomimus. Ornithomimus looked very much like an ostrich. It lived on fruit, small insects, and possibly eggs. A dinosaur with a beak. Some dinosaurs, such as Ornithomimus, were omnivores. They ate plant food as well as meat. Ornithomimus was about the same size as an ostrich. It lived during the late Cretaceous period and in North America and Asia. Ornithomimus had a horny beak rather than teeth. It used its clawed fingers to grasp and kill smaller animals, such as lizards and mammals. Ornithomimus may have been an egg-eating nest raider too. If it was disturbed by an angry parent, it could sprint away at 50 kilometers per hour or 30 miles per hour. Fossil remains show that the Ornithomimus had a large brain. It is thought by dinosaur experts to be one of the most intelligent dinosaurs. The skull of the meat-eater Allosaurus. Big brains. Meat-eaters had bigger brains than plant-eaters. Finding, chasing and catching prey required considerably more than wandering around in a herd munching plants. Plant-eating dinosaurs. Plateosaurus. Grazers and grinders. Probably 2/3 of all dinosaurs were plant eaters. During the Mesozoic era, the time dinosaurs walked the earth, the type of plants available to eat changed a lot. Dinosaur dynasties rose and fell according to the plants they ate. As one type of plant became rare, so the dinosaurs that ate it starved. As another plant took hold and spread around the land, so the dinosaurs that ate that became more numerous. At the beginning of the Mesozoic era, the most common plants were conifers, such as redwoods and pines, and horsetails and cycads. Their leaves and seeds were low in calories and difficult to digest. But by the Cretaceous period, flowering plants such as sycamores, magnolias and laurels had appeared and thrived. These were much more nutritious and grew in much greater numbers. The availability of such a rich supply of food meant that in the Cretaceous period there were more dinosaurs than ever before. Each type of plant-eating dinosaur had its own way of feeding and dealing with meat eaters that preyed upon it. The biggest dinosaurs ever were plant eaters. Unlike most meat eaters, many plant eaters walked on all fours. Their teeth were usually flat to strip and chew the plants they ate. Meat eaters, secondary consumers, Spinosaurus. Plant eaters, primary consumers, Iguanodon. Plants, producers, fern. Dinosaur food chain. Without plants, there would have been no plant-eating dinosaurs. Without them, the meat eaters would have had nothing to eat either. This process is called a food chain, and the panel below shows an example of one. Early herds. Plateosaurus was one of the earliest known plant-eating dinosaurs. It travelled in large herds, searching for conifers and ferns in Europe during the late Triassic period. Its long neck helped it to reach the leaves that smaller plant eaters left behind. It could probably rear up on its back legs to nibble even higher. It had sharp teeth to break up the tough leaves it ate, and probably swallowed stones to help it grind up the food in its stomach. Plateosaurus had small claws on its limbs, but its main defense against predators was probably its huge size. It grew to around 7 meters, 23 feet. Plateosaurus rears up to reach leaves in the trees. It may have used its arms to pull down branches as well. Reach for the sky. The tallest dinosaur found so far was Brachiosaurus, towering at about 12.5 meters or 40 feet above the ground. Brachiosaurus ate from the tops of tall trees, pulling off leaves with its 52 chisel-shaped teeth. It swallowed its food without chewing, leaving the entire process of digestion to its massive gut. It belonged to an order of dinosaurs called sauropods, the largest land animals to have ever lived. Its fossil remains, dating from the late Jurassic period, have been found in North America and Africa. Unlike most plant eaters whose lives were constantly threatened by meat-eating predators, the Brachiosaurus could probably graze in peace, as it was well over twice the size of the largest predators around. Brachiosaurus. As well as eating vegetation high above the ground, Brachiosaurus may have swung its head from side to side, cutting off ground-level plants like a lawnmower. Beak face. Triceratops was a type of dinosaur called a ceratopsian, meaning one with a horn. Such dinosaurs existed towards the end of the Cretaceous period. They lived in much of North America and Central Asia. Ceratopsians owed their success to the way they ate. With a sharp, parrot-shaped beak of a mouth, chopping teeth, and powerful jaws, they could eat even the toughest plants. They chewed their food too, making it easier to digest. Like many plant eaters, Triceratops was probably a herd animal. It may have travelled large distances in search of food. Triceratops had a huge skull. With 3 thorns and a bony neck plate. These were its greatest defence against meat eaters, but even its size could not frighten off its chief enemy, Tyrannosaurus rex. Tyrannosaurus rex, Triceratops. Suit of armour. Some plant eaters were heavily armoured. Sycamore was built like a tank. It was a type of plant eater called an ankylosaur. This one lived around Mongolia during the late Cretaceous period. Sycamore's low, stooping posture suggests it was a grazer. It probably nibbled at grasses and brushes with its beak, like a mouth. It had a bony plate inside its mouth, which allowed it to chew up even the toughest plants. As well as their fearsome set of body armour, ankylosaurs also had a lethal bony club on the end of their tail to protect them from attackers. The armour must have worked, as ankylosaurs were numerous around North America and East Asia. Sycana. Sycana's name means beautiful lizard. It was called this because of its ornate body armour. Triceratops' skull made up about 1/3 of its entire length. Experts think that it may have used its long horns to bend down branches to bring them within a reach of its mouth. Spikes and plates. Other plant eaters had different forms of defense. Stegosaurus had its own built-in protection. Its bony back plates were probably too fragile to act effectively as armour. But the spike on its tail could have been very useful against any attacker. Stegosaurus lived in North America in the late Jurassic period. They weighed 2 tons, and were at least 6 meters or 20 feet long. Unusually, their back legs were twice as long as their front legs, so their heads sloped forwards towards the ground. The back back legs were probably strong enough to allow Stegosaurus to rear up to feed on tree branches. Stegosaurus had a toothless beak at the front of its jaw, with small chewing teeth at the back to help it mash up the rough ferns, mosses and conifers it ate. New teeth were old. One group of dinosaurs, called hadrosaurs, had no teeth at the front of their mouth, but had rows of cheek teeth in their upper and lower jaw. Old teeth, worn out by endlessly chewing a tough plant diet, were continually replaced by new ones. No other type of dinosaur had this natural advantage, and it helped the hadrosaurs become some of the most common, successful dinosaurs of their time. Hyperocosaurus was a 9-meter, 30-foot long hadrosaur, and it grazed in herds in the forests of North America during the late Cretaceous period. It probably moved on all fours as it searched for pine needles, fruit and magnolia leaves, but unlike most other plant eaters, if threatened, it could run away at some speed on its powerful back legs. Hyperocosaurus ate all sorts of plants, as the period it lived in saw a huge spread in plant life across the globe. Their success as a species may well have led to the extinction of other plant eaters, such as iguanodon, and giant sauropods, such as Brachiosaurus, which were too slow to compete with them. Rock cakes. Many dinosaurs swallowed stones. These lodged in their stomachs and helped them grind up the tough plant food they ate. Many birds and reptiles still do this today. Such stones are called gastroliths. And I think this is where I'll stop the video and say I hope you enjoyed this book, and thank you for joining me, and I hope you join me again soon.